All right, the next thing we're going to do is I'm going to put my name. I'm not going to worry about the center number for now. On the test, I'll just probably be asking for your name. So let's just do the name, right header, automated field display today's date on the left header, and then I've got to put automated file name path in the footer. So let's start with the header. Okay, so let's go back. And we go to insert, okay? Header and footer, okay? Once again, I want my name on the right header. Okay, so my name, Teslin, and then it says automated field to display today's date in the left header. Okay. Here's the left header, and I want the current date. Okay, so once again, I'm going to save that. Okay, I'll go back to insert. Now, I want to do a footer, okay? All right. So, we will good, that looks good. Good, okay. So I want to go back, sorry, I want to go to the footer now. So go to footer, click on that. Takes me down here to the footer, and what was the footer that I want again? Place an automated file name, which includes the file path in the right footer. Okay, so I'll go back. This is my right footer, and this will be my file path and file name as well, okay? Be careful to the instructions. So it says an automated file name, which includes the file path, okay? So if I click in Excel, if I click in file path, it'll give me the path and file name. Okay, if I just wanted the file name, I would click on that. I have both of those, so that's good. It's a little bit different than from what Word does, so I just wanted to point that out. Okay, once again, I'm going to save that. Okay, now, how do I get out of this? I get this question all the time. Looks like it's all screwed up. I want to go back. Okay, so we go to View, and we go to Normal. It'll give us our normal view with everything the way it should be. Okay, I'm just going to spread that open a little bit more. Okay, back to my instructions. Now, restrict the data in cell B4 to H or D or W. Okay, so I will go back here. This is B4. All right, in other words, I want to only put in here H, D, or W. Okay. I need to validate the data in this cell. In other words, I need to just restrict the values in cell B4 so that it will only show an H, a D, or a W. So the way I do that is I click on the cell. I click on cell B4 because that's what I want to do. I go to Data, then I go to Data Validation. And I get this message box here. In the Allow, if I hit the drop-down box, I can choose different types of data that I want to have in here, whether it's any value, whole number, decimal, list, date, time, etc., okay? For something like text, I want to include a list, okay? And down here in the source, I want to have just H, comma, D, comma, W. Okay, so I will click OK. And as soon as I do that, I can see this little drop-down box here, and it will give me the following, H, D, W. All right? So, in other words, if I put a D in here, if I type in a D, oh, I don't even have to type in a D, I can choose it here. So I can choose D, and it will automatically select a value for me. W, okay. So let's keep it on D for now, and we'll save that again, make sure that we have that. So good, we've got that done. Going back to my test then. And for my evidence, it says take a screenshot of your method restricting the data entry, place this in your evidence document. So let me show you guys what I would take a picture of, okay? In order to make sure you get full points, go back to data, data validation, okay? And I would take a screenshot of this, okay? Shows that I'm saving it as a list and that Okay, shows that, sorry, I just want to check that because we're going to have another question on that. But yeah, I would take a picture of this and it shows me all my information. So I will save that. And I would put that as a screenshot, and that would be evidence 2. Enter a formula in cell D9 to display hourly if cell B4 contains H, daily if cell B4 contains D, weekly if cell B4 contains W. Okay, so what we need here, of course, is a if statement. All right, I have 1, 2, 3. I have 3 if statements. That means that I need 2 if statements. Don't forget, we always need one less if statement for the conditions that we have. In other words, I have 3 conditions, 1, 2, 3. I'm going to display an H, a D, or a W. Those are my 3 conditions. So I only need 2 if statements. I need a nested if statement then in D9. Okay, so let me go back. Oops, nope, don't want to do that. Just want to minimize that. And so that is in D9. So go back here. A, B, C, D. This is D9, okay? So, if statement, here we go. Equals if, open, bracket. My logical test is, what am I testing again? It will be, the value in cell B4. Okay, so let me just change. Yeah, that's good. Okay, so the logical test will be whatever is in B4. And as we know, Excel likes to highlight my cells for me as I'm going along, give me a little prompt as to what I'm going to do. So my logical test is whatever is in B4. If B4 is what? If B4 is equal to, and I'm just going to follow this. I'm going to follow this order here. So my first one is if B4 equals H, then it will say hourly. If it's D, it will say daily. If it is W, it will say weekly. So let's go back to that. If B4 equals H, then my value will be, okay. Couple of syntax issues, okay. Don't forget, if you're putting text in an Excel formula, it must be in speech marks or quotation marks, okay. Okay, and don't forget, we're working on PCs, so we will separate all of our values by commas, okay? So if B4 equals H, then hourly, okay? Then I need another if statement. If B4 equals D, equals D, then daily. Otherwise, so I've got a nested if statements. I've got two if statements that are nested in together. And I've got one parenthesis here that closes that, so I need one more parenthesis. And you can see, as I put in my parenthesis, Excel will prompt me as well. Sorry, I'm just going to put that in the formula bar so we can see all of our values. Okay, so I have a D in there right now. So in cell D9, it should say daily. Okay, so let's hit this, and there we go. Yep, so that worked. Okay, let's try our other values then. So if I put in, if I choose hourly, I should get H down in B9, and that's great. Great, so that works, okay? I've got that, which is wonderful. Okay, let's go back to my test. Now it says, evaluate in your own words the restrictions you placed in cell B4. Suggest how these restrictions could be improved. Improve these restrictions in your spreadsheet based upon this evaluation and your suggestion. Okay, I'm not going to write all these because I'm going to save time for the video. I will actually write them down in class so you guys will know. But let me just talk about these so you're aware of it. So when you evaluate something for the test, you want to say the good and the bad. All right, let's start with the bad. Okay, so for example, what is the bad part about this data validation? Well, what happens if I put in a capital? Okay, see, the value doesn't match. Okay, and it's entirely possible that somebody, when they're typing in, they might put in a capital W or a capital H or a capital D. So that's something that I might want to fix. All right. Also, what happens if it's blank? Okay, say I'm working on my Excel sheet and I'm putting in values here, and by accident I leave this blank. Well, I also get another generic error. Okay. What happens? Okay, let us do that. So I can fix that. I can fix at least the blank by in my if statement. If I do this, actually no, it's easier to fix it the other way. Let's keep that there. Okay. What I want to do then is look at my data validation. Okay, go back to data validation, and I can do this. Ignore blank. Or sorry, I don't want to ignore it. I want to uncheck ignore blank. All right. In other words, I want to have a warning if I get a blank, if it is blank. So yeah, sorry, let's do that again. So if this is checked, by default, this is checked. Okay. So if I have nothing in there, okay, blank field, but I still have weekly in there. So I want to make sure that in data validation, that I uncheck ignore blank. In other words, I want to get a message that will give me a mistake. Also here in the source, I can add a capital D, a capital H, and a capital W. Any other errors I might have with that sort of stuff. So if I do that, I change that, I've got those values there. And I won't leave it blank, so if I put that in, yep, it won't allow me to put in a blank, so I have to choose something. Okay, so that's how I can fix that. The good thing about it is that with data, I could say this in my evaluation, data validation in cell B4 makes sure that I have only certain values inputted, which cuts down on the amount of errors I might have. All right, we're getting close to the end of the time on this one. All right, yeah, let's do this. We'll do that with, we'll come back on the third one with entering a function in the cell B9 to look up the name of the car, which will be my VLOOKUP formula. Okay.